What if I told you that you have lived through the fall of not one, but multiple empires? We think of empires as ancient history, Rome, the Mongols, things lost to dust and time. But the age of empires didn't end with swords and galleons. It ended in our grandparents' lifetimes, and a new, invisible form of empire might be rising right now. Before we uncover the modern empire hiding in plain sight, I need you to do me a huge favor. If you're fascinated by history's greatest stories of power and collapse, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss the shocking reveal at the end. This is a story you won't believe. So, what makes an empire? It's not just a king with a fancy crown. It's a political unit that exercises control, often through force, over vast territories and diverse peoples outside its original borders. It's about projecting power across the globe. And for most of human history, that meant one thing: land. The more territory you colored on a map, the more powerful you were. And that brings us to our first of the last great traditional empires, the Ottoman Empire, a name that echoes with mystery and power for over 600 years. At its height, it straddled 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was the Islamic heart of the world, a cultural and military juggernaut that terrified Europe for centuries. But how did it end? Not with a dramatic battle in the 1500s, but slowly, painfully, and it was finally unplugged from life support after World War I. Its official death certificate was signed in 1922. That's right, the Ottoman Empire collapsed only a century ago. Your great-grandparents were alive to read about it in the newspaper. But as one empire based on land and monarchy died, another, even more powerful and vast, was reaching its absolute peak. The British Empire, the largest empire in human history, where the sun literally never set. At its zenith after World War I, it controlled nearly a quarter of the world's landmass and population. It was an empire of industry, trade, and overwhelming naval power. But World War II broke the bank and the spirit. The cost of defending a global empire was just too high. While it didn't vanish on a single date, its rapid dismantling in the decades after 1945 marks one of the fastest declines of a superpower ever seen. India, the jewel in the crown, gained independence in 1947. This wasn't ancient history. This was the era of your grandparents. But the end of the British Empire created a power vacuum, and 2 new, terrifyingly modern superpowers rushed to fill it. This sets the stage for the most recent empire to fall, and it happened in your lifetime. I'm talking about the Soviet Empire. This wasn't an empire of a single monarch, but of a single ideology: communism. It controlled its vast territory in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, not just with armies, but with secret police, propaganda, and the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. This was the Cold War. The world lived under its shadow for 50 years. And then it just stopped. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989. The Soviet Union itself dissolved in 1991. If you were born before the 1990s, you witnessed the collapse of a nuclear-armed empire that controlled 1/6 of the Earth's land. Let that sink in. So that's it, right? The age of empires is over? We live in a world of nation-states. Well, what if I told you that a new form of empire emerged from the ashes of the old ones? One that doesn't bother with messy occupations or drawing borders on maps. What is an empire, really? It's about projecting power and influence to control resources and dictate terms to other nations. And today, that doesn't require colonies. It requires the world's reserve currency. It requires a military that can strike anywhere on the planet within hours. It requires cultural dominance through movies, music, and technology. It requires controlling the flow of information and data. This isn't about painting the map red anymore. It's about making the entire map dependent on you. So, who is the modern empire? Is it the United States with its unmatched global military and economic influence? Is it China, building a digital and economic empire through its Belt and Road Initiative? Or is it something even more abstract? A network of global corporations whose power rivals that of governments. This is where I need you to tell me. Because history isn't just something we read about. We're living it right now. We just don't have the perspective to see the pattern yet. And that is why I desperately want to know what you think in the comments section below. Who is the modern empire? Is it a country, a corporation, something else entirely? Debate it down below. I will be reading every single comment. Did we witness the last empire fall in 1991, or are we living inside a new one right now and just don't realize it? Give me your theories. Let's get this conversation started. And if your mind is even slightly blown by this idea, if you love content that connects the dots of history to our modern world, then you know what to do. Smash that like button right now. It really helps the channel out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and absolutely hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the secrets of history. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.